So in my today's session, I'll be giving the overall introduction of Workday's HCM product. So here is the agenda of today's session. We are going to talk about what Workday HCM is. We'll be touching the product areas of Workday HCM. How many products are there? What are the use of those specific products? What are the key benefits? What are the advantages of using Workday HCM? Why organizations should use Workday HCM? What benefit they can get? And then we'll be talking about different domains or industries and the organizations that are currently using Workday. So, starting from the introduction, so what Workday HCM is, we usually hear Workday name primarily as an HR system, but Workday is actually a software vendor, and Workday HCM is actually one of the products of uh, HCM is one of the product of Workday. It's a US based software vendor that has multiple products, including financial management products as well. It's been in the market for about 15 years, and it was actually founded by David Duffield, and currently Anil Bhusri is the CEO of Workday. How actually Workday came into existence, why Workday was actually formed. Of course, there were other software vendors as well, but it all started from it all evolved from uh, getting answers of some questions. So some of the common questions that organizations has. So for example, why is enterprise software so hard to use? Why do businesses need to support change? What change they need to support, and how they can actually give their people more time for what really matters. So these were all the reasons a research was conducted, and then after a thorough research, whole work was done, and then Workday HCM product was launched. So what Workday HCM is? So it's a SaaS-based solutions. So when we say SaaS-based solutions, software as a service. So the companies that are using SaaS applications are actually not tasked with the setup or maintenance of the software. Users simply have to pay a subscription fee to gain access of the software, and they can actually use it. So you can say it's a ready-made software. And why should organizations use Workday HCM? So Workday is actually providing independence to organizational members in terms of overall HR processes and programs. So it all helps to organize staff, whether it's employees, whether it's any contractual worker, any part-time worker. So every kind of employees, their pay structure, their benefits, what they are getting, how companies should like how companies should actually meet the requirements of different countries. So it actually provides that platform to help organizations to manage all these things in a single unified system. And it's not just restricted to the people who are part of the company. Uh, it also provides uh, like a talent management solution. So there is also a whole system where that can actually help to keep the record of different people's skills and abilities, whether these people are your employees. And by using other modules of Workday, you can also keep a record of the talent pool that you have. So it actually provides you it gives you the platform to actually meet your organization's needs in terms of workforce, their skill set, and it also helps us to take different decision based on that information. So in short, it's actually providing a simplified experience and helping organizations to modernize their HR interaction. So instead of waiting for someone to provide information, system is doing that thing. So system is actually providing that information, and based on what sort of user, what sort of access you should have, it provides a unique experience to uh, variety of users. So coming to, like, if we summarize why, like, what's the benefit and what's Workday is actually providing. So I would say, to me, one thing that Workday HCM is providing, it's the connection between the workforce, whether it's companies, management. So management need different kind of information because they need to make different kind of decision based on that information. Employees need to access different kind of information from the system. So it's actually integrating different users and providing a single solution for all the users of any organization. And then it is also helping to manage these resources. So when, if we talk about, like, unified, it's a unified global cloud application. So as we have already talked about, that it's deployed on cloud environment, and as a user, all I need is to subscribe to get the access to Workday. I don't have to worry about um, like getting system servers. It's all taken care by Workday, and all I need is to pay pay the subscription fee, and then I can configure it based on my organization's requirement. So it's a one-stop solution. It's providing everything, and what we are actually getting out of it. So we are getting different details, as we already talked about, employees, their salaries, what's the budget a specific department has, and what information as a business is needed. So whether it's about the specific location or whether it's about the whole organization, so that all that information is actually available in the system. And then uh, actionable insights. So actionable insights, I would say, the conclusions that are drawn from the data that can be, you can say, that can be turned directly into an action or a response. So these are the meaningful findings, and we are only able to analyze the data when we have it available at one place. So if we don't have a system, we might be using different system, we might be using different spreadsheets for doing that. But Workday is actually providing all that information in a single system, and we are able to do that through different functionalities that Workday is providing. So in short, it's actually helping us to take different decisions that we as an organization, like senior management person, for example. So the overall analysis, the data that any organization or management that might need, and Workday is helping us to get that insight, get that actionable insight again. And then based on this information, it helps organizations management to take different decisions, helping organizations to be agile, to be moving quickly in the desired direction. Sometimes the information that we have from the business that actually helps us to take different decisions. So maybe, for example, you have like X number of resources in a particular product or a business unit, and that specific business unit is actually giving you majority of revenue, for example. So you need to have the data, so you can back it up by your decision should be backed up by that data, and the system can actually provide you that data. And then it's the user interface, the interaction, the connection between the user and the system. So it's So user interface, so whether you have an iPhone, whether you have an Android device, whether you are on your laptop, desktop, you can uh, like use it from any device, and then you can also personalize your your dashboard the way you want to see the data, the way you want to see your dashboard. You you being, for example, a specific departments manager, so you let's say you are a product manager and you need some insight, some details specific to your product, so you need a report, so you want that report to be readily available for you. Another department manager might have something like his or her priority might be different, and he or she would like to see a different set of information based on the specific role or responsibility he or she has. So that's the thing that's also available in the system. There are different kind of reports, dashboards, how you want your user interface to look like. Why? Because you want some information to be quickly available for you. And then human capital management, which is quite self-explanatory. So it's all about managing human. There are different things, whether it's about their skills, their pay, their location, and all those details. We'll be touching base more on that in next slides. So in short, these are the, like, it's covering everything. Workday HCM is going to cover everything, we can say. Uh, all the phases of employee life cycle when employee is actually coming in an organization, and then different phases that he or she is passing through. So it helps, the system actually helps to keep all that information, all that record, and then different decisions can be taken uh, during from that information. So key product areas of Workday. What are the key product areas? So we'll be big data analytics. So big data is actually uh, like use of advanced analytical techniques against very large or diverse set of data that may be structured, that may be unstructured, and that's basically combining or getting the data from different sources. So Workday is actually providing that uh, like that feature. And you, as you can see, so there are different, as I mentioned, if we talk about employee life cycle, so it has all the functionalities, and there are different things particularly related to each and every phase of that life cycle, uh, and that is actually catered in Workday HCM. So we'll be discussing a little more detail for all these areas. So as I mentioned, Workday big data analytics. So there are pre-built templates as well that can actually provide um, like uh, address key business issues for HR and finance. So, for example, and if I talk about, I'll link it with the reporting section, because that's where we are getting the summary of the data that we have. So there are certain reports available in the system. For example, if we particularly talk about HR. So HR example, let's say I want to see headcount report, or for example, I want to see attrition or what you call turnover report. So you have some templates, standard reports available in the system, and then you also uh, have that ease or have that opportunity to actually create your own report. So let's say there's a standard report that is available, but my organization has some specific kind of requirement, or we are actually categorizing data differently based on our specific organization's requirement. So I can actually copy that report and can uh, edit it and add the fields that I want, that are more important to me as an organization, because it's not necessary, yes, that the report that is already available in the system, that's the standard report, but it's not necessary that it can be suitable for all organization as it is. So sometimes if we need to tweak those reports, we can do that as well. Then we talk about recruitment. So what's recruitment? Recruitment is all about getting the right people, and how we can do it. So we need to engage, we need to find best candidates for any job, and that can be internally and that can be externally. So how we are doing it internally and externally. So internally, for example, if I'm maintaining a record of employees, so I have a record details of specific projects that employee has worked on in his or past experience. I may have the details of the skills that a particular individual has. So I can actually, for example, there are resources, they have some prior experience, and that can be useful for any future project that company is planning for. But I would only know it once I have that information available in the system, and that's why we call it a unified solution. So that information is also available in the system. And if we talk about external candidates, so yes, we are posting the job ads and we are actually inviting uh, candidates from the market, from the external market. So that's functionality is also available. And then talent management. When we say talent management, so we know who is doing what, if we need to reward any person, if we need to give any training and to any specific individual or set of individuals. So we can also do that. We know what's the performance level of different employees, and if somebody needs more training or somebody needs to be like more skilled in a particular area, so we can have that information available in the system and we can then take decisions based on that. Then time tracking. So time tracking, just keeping the record of the time that an individual is putting into work. That's and that has different, I would say, different purposes. So firstly, if I am if I'm going to dedicate or align a resource on a particular project, so I should know that uh, this person has spent these many hours on this project. Or if I have 10, 20, 100 people, let's say, what's the time that they are actually dedicating on a particular product. Similarly, I also have to make sure that, if let's say if I have a company and that has offices in multiple countries, so there are different compliance requirements for each of these countries based on the local laws. So that's another thing. And again, I'm going to design my like the time tracking process accordingly. And then we can also, of course, see the time that people are actually investing or putting in the system, and then how it's comparable to the productivity that they are giving. So again, that's also providing us the data. um, Project and work management. So I know what are the who are the people, uh, how these people should be like grouped together for a specific project, and how that project can be managed in a better way. Helps organizations to decide what strategy they should come up with. Is there any change that they need to make in their current process or current decisions, how they can optimize their results. Then benefits administration. So different benefits, organizations provide different benefits, and Workday helps us to manage to administer those benefits. So for example, a company is providing health insurance benefits, and there are different, I would say, different details associated with it. So for example, an employee is eligible to get X amount of his of insurance that should cover dental treatment also, but maybe an organization is saying that we are just providing it for our employees but not for their dependents. So, and let's say if and if we go further into that, so for example, if a dependent is a minor, then he or she should also be eligible for these XYZ thing. But if the dependent is not minor, then he or she won't be getting these things. So those sort of details, depending on what benefit that company is providing again. And then sometimes these, if we particularly talk about insurance companies, so there can be an integration with an insurance provider, and that again helps to um, like uh, overall increase the efficiency of the process. Then talent supply and demand. So again, we have the data, we know if we need any particular skill set for future, so we should know if we that this is going to be a demand in next 1 year, maybe 6 months, or maybe 2 years. So what we need to do to build that skill set, those sort of decisions. And why we are doing all these things? Because we need to make sure that we are taking the right steps to achieve our business targets. Then of course there's a payroll solution as well. Again, depending on, there is a lot of detail, a lot of things in that as well. And human resource management, so organizing each and everything, their like staff overall, what skill set they have, their what how they are performing, what how many people are there in a particular like in a particular business unit. So those sort of each and everything that can actually helps to take decision and provide the visibility of the data, so we can have all these things covered in Workday HCM. So key benefits. why why organizations should adopt or should start using Workday HCM? What benefit organizations can get? So it's giving the overall complete understanding of workforce. As I mentioned, that let's say uh, we have inducted a person. So what skill set or what expertise he or she is coming up with, which project she'll be working on, what are the expectations from them, what are the what's the cost associated with that. And if, for example, any particular project, so maybe we need someone temporarily, so we might hire a contractor. So those sort of thing. And then what's the benefit, what we are getting out of it? So it's actually helping, as I mentioned, it's helping us, different business leader as well as employees, to like to get a simplified experience through a system. So instead of relying for on anyone, they are getting that whole information through the system. So let's say if I am an employee and I need to access to certain details, I need to, for example, a simplest example could be, if I need to check what's my like how much time off I have available for this year, for example. So instead of like one approach could be that I contact any HR person and get that information. Another simplest approach in which I won't have to rely on anybody. So that could be that I just log into my system. I have that self-service access and I can get that information. That's automatic. That's based on the time of that I have taken to date. And I have all that information available. Similarly, it's also, as we talked about in earlier slides, that actionable insights that we were talking about, so that business leaders have that information available in the system. And easily configurable. So I would say the beauty of the system is that it's highly or easily configurable, and you don't need to have um, highly specialized technical skills, at least not for this Workday HCM. And it's configurable. It's like you can do it based on, like, you can configure it, you can set it up based on your specific requirement. Then uh, when we have all that information available in the system, we can take different decisions based on that. We are actually automating overall process. Everything we are automating, overall processes getting automated through the system, and it's easy to manage, giving a simplified experience. The sectors where Workday HCM is being used. So it's not, um, I would say, it's not restricted to any particular domain or industry. It's used in different industries. But if I see general stats, the stats that are available online as well, it's mostly used in professional services industry. And if we see, it's also being used in manufacturing industry, retail industries, for example, Walmart. That's I think that's a very common example. So it's being used in different industries, but generally um, Workday is recommended to be used by a medium or large size organization. It's not designed for small size, but it's usually used for medium and small size organization. And if we also talk about the overall like worldwide usage, so right now like the breakdown of the overall customers of Workday HCM. So US is at the top. So it's like over 60% customers of Workday HCM are from the US. And then UK, Singapore, Canada. So it's being used in multiple countries, but the highest percentage right now is of US. Again, it all depends. Some industry practices differs. There are different requirements in each area. And again, the best part is that we can configure it as per our requirement. So if you know the system, how system works, if you know how it can be configured, and how it can be configured in a way that it can cater your specific requirements, it's all good to go. So these are short. This is my take on this, that why it's beneficial for organizations to go through this, like to implement the system. And of course, having knowledge helps you to learn and then configure the solution for any organization.